On April 24th, 2001, Robert Downey Jr. woke up in a prison cell, broke, addicted, and nearly forgotten by Hollywood. 20 years later, he was Iron Man. This is the story of everything that happened in between, the pain, the collapse, and the decision that rebuilt a life. He wasn't just talented, he was electric. The prodigy who could steal a scene with a single raised eyebrow. By his 20s, he was already Oscar-nominated, already crowned Hollywood's golden boy. But behind the charm was a childhood wired for escape. His father, a filmmaker battling his own addictions, introduced him to substances when he was just 8 years old. It didn't start as rebellion. It started as inheritance. And what began as a coping mechanism slowly became the central force in his life.
The roles got bigger, the applause got louder, but the habit got worse. He would miss shoots. He'd fall asleep in strangers' houses. Paparazzi weren't chasing him for movie premieres anymore. They were chasing his next mugshot. The cycle was ruthless. Arrest, court, rehab, relapse, repeat. Hollywood doesn't run on sympathy. It runs on reliability. And he wasn't reliable anymore. Studios backed away. Directors stopped calling. He had become a liability, a tragic headline in a business built on image. He wasn't just losing roles. He was losing himself. A judge sentenced him to real jail time. He was bullied. He was isolated, and for the first time, he experienced a life where his wit, his fame, his talent, none of it could protect him. In that concrete cell, a terrifying thought settled in. What if my story ends here? For the first time, the silence around him was louder than the applause had ever been. His comeback didn't start with a miracle. It started with a decision, one only he could make. No one else could make that choice. Not Hollywood, not the fans, not even his family. He chose recovery. And the truth is, transformation isn't glamorous. It's routine, discipline. The daily grind of staying clean. He took small roles, tiny paychecks, submitted to drug tests, and showed up early. Slowly, inch by inch, he rebuilt trust. Real change doesn't look magical. It looks like choosing the harder thing every single day. Then came the script that would change everything. Marvel was trying something no one had attempted before, and they needed a Tony Stark who was brilliant, broken, and worth redeeming. The studio didn't see him as that man. Insurance companies refused. No one wanted to risk millions on him. But Jon Favreau saw what the world had forgotten. The spark, the depth, the parallel. Tony Stark rebuilt himself. So did Robert Downey Jr. One audition changed everything. It wasn't a comeback, it was a gamble. When Iron Man premiered, everything changed. It didn't just launch the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it launched the second act of Robert Downey Jr.'s life. He didn't escape his past. He repurposed it. He turned pain into purpose, mistakes into meaning, rock bottom into a foundation. He didn't just play a superhero. He became proof that reinvention is possible. We love stories like this because they whisper a truth we desperately need to hear. Your lowest moment is not your ending. It's often your turning point. Robert Downey Jr. knows what it feels like to be at zero, to be humiliated, to think the story is over, but he chose differently. So here's the real question, the only question that matters. If he could rebuild from prison to Iron Man, what's the one small step you will take today to start your own comeback?